Most of the sales gurus that you're learning from online and their scripts are complete and utter garbage. Not only are they sleazy, slimy, and feel weird to use those one-liners, but they're not designed for me and you. People that don't like sales, don't enjoy sales, but need it. And I've developed a script that works like absolute magic. It outperforms, outconverts all of that garbage, and has conversations that you actually enjoy. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down for you the issues with these scripts, why they don't work for coaches and experts like us, and then I'll share with you the future of sales that I've developed that converts like crazy. So I'm going to share with you a typical journey for someone like me and you trying to learn sales, and you can tell me if this sounds familiar, right? We have our coaching program, we have our course, we launch our business into the marketplace, and we figured out the funnel, we figured out traffic, we figured out what our offer's going to be, and then we realized there's a missing piece of the puzzle, because even if we get to a point where we get some quality prospects to speak to on our calendars, or maybe you get a referral from a friend or a colleague, or maybe you have someone messaging you on social media asking to have a chat, you are slowly but surely finding that the more people you speak to on the phone, the more you're just embracing rejection after rejection, let me think about it after let me think about it, and you're ending up just not closing a single person on the phone, you're not enjoying these conversations, and so you take to YouTube, you take to Google, and you find the sales gurus who are gonna share with you their special script that you should be following. And if you just follow everything they tell you to do, and if you use all their fancy one-liners every time an objection comes up, you go to your little sales handbook and you reply with what you're supposed to say, that you will be able to close prospects. But the reality has been the complete opposite. You're still not closing prospects, but you're coming across as a sleazy used car salesman. You're using one-liners like someone who's just knocking on someone's front door, trying to sell them solar panels. And you've gotten to the point where you are sure there must be a better way, there must be a more enjoyable way, and there must be a way to actually get some yeses on the phone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have it for you. And it's taken me years to figure this out. It's taken me a lot of trial and error. It's taken me being on the phone for months and months and months, not enjoying it just like you are, and finally figuring out what I now call the future of sales. And it completely rips up the sales rulebook that all these other sales gurus are telling you. In fact, the way I conduct sales calls are the complete opposite of what everyone else is teaching. And I am finding right now, and so are my clients, that it is outperforming and outconverting every other option out there. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the concept, how it works, why it works, so that you leave this video knowing exactly how to implement this yourself. And then I have 2 free gifts for you. And it's the framework for these sales scripts. And there's a link in the description box and you can grab that at any time. But don't get it just yet, because you need to first understand why it works. So maybe you've heard of something called the one call close. And this is a typical way that these sales gurus teach you to do this. You get a prospect on the phone, and you're supposed to move heaven and earth to get that person to say yes on the phone. And this is where these one-liners are coming in. If the prospect says this, then you say this. And if they say that, then you do this. It's all designed to try to squeeze the prospect into making a decision and give you a yes at the end of the phone. But what if the prospect isn't ready? What if there is something genuinely that needs to be thought about? And what if the more you push and try to get them to close, the more you actually push them away? Well, this is what I was personally experiencing. I was having great conversations on the phone, but towards the end of the conversation, where I'm trying to encourage them to make this decision and they're giving me resistance and objections out the other end, the more I pushed, the more I felt like I was losing credibility. They were losing respect for me. I was coming across as desperate. And what I was finding was those calls were going to a second follow-up call anyway. So this one call close wasn't working for me, but in fact it was doing the opposite of working. It was actually making the second call even harder, because I'd lost some of that relationship and credibility with the prospect. And so I get on the second call and it usually ended with a no as well. And that might even go to a third call and end up with the prospect just ghosting me. And this is when I had my light bulb moment. I was thinking about this one call close that everyone's peddling. And I was thinking there's 2 main issues with this way of doing sales. Number 1 is, of course, we're coming across as slimy seals.
Slimy seals.
Slimy seals. Coming across as slimy seals. And the first was the fact that we come across as sleazy, slimy salesmen. And the second was that we actually give the power to the prospect. We're supposed to be the authority, we're the business owner, we should be picking and choosing what clients we want to work with. But that's not happening. We're offering to everyone, we're laying our cards on the table, and the prospect is now in the power position saying, great, let me think about it, I'll get back to you with a decision. So we've lost all power. And introducing the future of sales. I found a way to reverse this process so that I can regain the power and make sure that I'm the one making a decision about the prospect, not the other way around, but doing it in a way that doesn't come across as salesy in the slightest, and it works incredibly well. So here's the concept. The one call close attempt was going to a second call regardless. So if the first call was an hour and I'm jumping on for a second call for an hour, I'm already spending a couple of hours over 2 calls, but I've lost the power and I'm coming across as a sleazy salesman. So what if we custom created a 2-part sales script where the first call sets everything up and the second call actually does the closing? And if these two are working together and done correctly, the prospect will actually feel like they are enjoying the process because they had a chance to think between those 2 calls, but I was still in the power position. So here's how it works. The first call is called the push call. And this is actually where you genuinely push the prospect away a little bit. When people get on the phone with you and you're the business owner and they're the punter, they're the prospect, they think, they assume that if they want to work with you, they'll have the chance to do so if they were to say yes to you. So that is why you have this loss of power, because they jump on the phone with you and you feel like you're the one making an offer to them and they're the one deciding if they want to do it. So we've got to change that around. So on the first call, the way I set up that call is very quickly, very early on, making it clear that I don't accept every client that I speak to. I have to go away and have a little think. I've got a lot of people to speak to this week and I can't work with everyone. So let's have a nice chat. Let's get to know each other. Let's dig into your business. Let's see if I can help. But regardless of how this conversation goes, we'll still go ahead and have a second call, perhaps later on in the week, and we can talk about coaching if it feels appropriate. So you will not be sold anything on this call. Now with a setup like that, and that's very similar to how we do it in the script, and of course you've got the framework in the description box you can grab, that'll break some of this stuff down. Suddenly I've reversed the process. And the prospect who came on the call thinking that they were the decision maker, now they've had their whole paradigm shifted to thinking, oh, I'm not even sure if I can work with this person. Now what happens when you're not sure that you're allowed something that you might want? You want it even more. The desire builds. So as this first call progresses, and as the conversation moves forward, you can actually start to talk about coaching. You can tease what it's like to be a client. You can even have a full darn pitch where you tell them everything that's included when they become a client, but just without the invitation. So it's designed to share the information of what it's like to be a client, but you're not going to be making a decision on whether you want to work with them as a client until the second call. So they're just having their desire built and built and built. They're getting FOMO, they're realizing the urgency, but they're not actually allowed to join your program. And I actually had the idea for this many, many years ago, where I remember I was introduced to someone made a referral for me to go speak to someone who might be able to help me in a particular area in my business, and I was that prospect that thought I had a guaranteed shot at buying that person's services. And so already in my head I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I'm going to do something with them, you know, they better really impress me on the phone, they better get me really excited, otherwise I'm not going to give them my money. And very quickly on the phone, this particular gentleman just made it clear that he's very, very busy at the moment. He's got a bit of a wait list to become a client, and he's not sure if he'd even be able to work with me right now, but happy to have a chat and explore and kind of see where we go. And I remember what that did to me. The feeling in my stomach was like, oh my gosh, now I kind of want you even more. It's like a light switch went from I'm really, really hesitant to, oh shoot, if this person's in that kind of demand and they don't seem desperate to sign me up, then they must be really popular, therefore I should probably want to join them, and my desire was just increasing. So the whole premise of the first call, we're pushing the prospect away on that first call, and that's building the desire from them because they want to lean back in. Introducing the second call. This is called the pull script. So these two together are the push and the pull. The first call pushed them away a little bit. The second call, when we jump back on, is where we pull them into the program and we sign them up. And we do that by, in effect, sharing with them the good news that they are accepted into the program. The first call, we would have shared some of those details, we would have connected with them on what the offer is, and over the couple of days between call 1 and call 2, they're not getting cold feet, they're not speaking to family members who are speaking negativity over, oh, you're not going to give that person on the internet money, are you, you silly twit? Instead, they're thinking for a couple of days about, gosh, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be accepted. And this person seems in such high demand. They kind of liked me and what I had going on, but they weren't sure if they had the capacity to work with me. I'm not even sure I get to work with them. Desire building, desire building, desire building. And then on that second call, you share the good news. Hey, I've been having a think over the last couple of days. I've had to speak to everyone else that I was speaking to. I actually would like to work with you. I'd like to offer you a spot into the program. And what you'll find is that the prospects at that point of being invited in, yes, they will still feel a bit nervous. Yes, they'll still feel the fear of a big financial decision to invest in your coaching, but it will in most cases be dwarfed by the excitement and desire to join the coaching, instead of what used to be the way with all these dirty sales scripts where you're just pushing the prospect, pushing the prospect, pushing the prospect to make the decision on the first call, and they end up going cold, whereas with this process, they get warmer and warmer and warmer until you speak on that second phone call. And me and my team have been using this for the past few months, and it has transformed our sales. My sales team enjoy their conversations more than they ever have before. Our close rate is through the roof. We've been sharing this with our expansion clients, and we are getting reports on a daily basis that this 2-call close, this push and the pull script, is transforming their conversations and their close percentage as well. And I even share this with my Titan Mastermind, which is a very high caliber mastermind, 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs. Many of the names in this group you will recognize, you'll probably see some of their faces on the screen right now. I shared this with them, and they've got big sales teams, and the same feedback came back. This has absolutely changed the face of how we do sales. So your next step, if you want to learn more about this, is click the link in the description box and you can get access to my push and my pull scripts. They break down the entire framework and what you need to say on each of these calls to tick all the boxes, to build desire on the first call and to effortlessly close on the second call. I hope you enjoy those frameworks. They're absolutely fantastic. And I also love this topic so much so that if it would be helpful for you, I'd be happy to break this down in detail right here on the channel. If you would like a part 2 for this, and if you'd like me to go into excruciating detail on these 2 scripts, exactly what to say, how to say it, when to say it, let me know in the comments on this video. Let me know you enjoyed this one, and if you want that extended version. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We put out great new content every single week, like this video right here. If you're not getting enough qualified people to even speak to implement the sales stuff, this video right here will help you. I'll see you in the next video.